It is wonderful to be here tonight to honor one of the giants of our film and television industry, the CEO of Lionsgate, Jon Feltheimer. During his 30-year career, Jon's legacy of films and TV series have touched all of our lives. The Wonder Years, one of his shows while he was at New World, literally defined my youth, as I was the same age as Kevin Arnold when that series began. I'm not saying the real number, but you guys can do the math later. As I grew slightly older, more series from my adolescence, like Party of Five and Dawson's Creek, were a result of Jon's tenure at Sony. But my favorite series from that time was Paul Reiser's Mad About You. You guys remember Mad About You? Beautifully written sitcom about a real marriage with a breakout role for Helen Hunt as the oft-beleaguered wife, Jamie. Jon's work is everywhere. While at Sony, he distributed both Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. By applause, how many people have seen either one of those shows? Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune? You can thank Jon for that. Since Jon joined Lionsgate, his productions have changed the TV landscape. From Mad Men and Weeds to Orange is the New Black and Dear White People, Jon's support for original perspectives and new voices has redefined the boundaries of television and the kinds of stories it can tell. On the film side, Jon's Lionsgate is responsible for not only the global blockbuster Hunger Games franchise, Hunger Games fans, but Oscar nominees La La Land, Crash, Monsters Ball, and Precious. During Lionsgate's partnership with Code Black Films, Jon supervised the releases of Addicted, The Inevitable Defeat of Mr. and Pete, directed by my friend George Tillman Jr., and starring Jennifer Hudson, Anthony Mackie, and Jeffrey Wright. Code Black also released Free Angela and All Political Prisoners, a documentary about our sister Angela Davis. They also released Middle of Nowhere, where I found Omari Hardwick. If you have watched an episode of The Wendy Williams Show, Family Feud, starring Steve Harvey, or almost any Tyler Perry series or film, Jon Feltheimer was leading the team, providing you access to those diverse voices and perspectives. And now to my own professional relationship with Jon, who I met while I was considering leaving Power after its 4th season. Hungry to do something new, I went into the meeting expecting Jon to ask me for more of the same. Power was and continues to be a critical part of the success of Starz, and I expected him to want me to keep writing and producing that show and doing more of the same. So I went in challenging him to see me as more than a one-trick pony. I'll be honest, I went in ready for a fight. I come from years in this business of being told, you're this or you're that, by people who don't look like me and do not share my experience, but want to define me anyway. I thought it would be that way with Jon. I went in and I said, I am capable of telling all sorts of stories. I'm capable of creating series and writing films that represent all different kinds of people and realities. And Jon listened. Instead of leaning away, he leaned in. He respected my voice. He didn't try to force me into creating a specific kind of programming for a specific kind of audience. Instead, he was interested in every story I wanted to tell. He made a commitment to me as a writer, not just as the showrunner of Power. And he has backed up that commitment time and time again. Although Starz and Lionsgate's strategy is to deliver content to underserved audiences, I believe that Jon's greatest contribution to diversity is letting me and other artists like me be ourselves, supporting our creative vision wherever it may take us. Maybe I'll create the next Wonder Years. You never know. And now, to accept the T. Howard Diversity Award on behalf of Starz and Lionsgate, it is my pleasure to introduce my friend and partner, Lionsgate CEO, Jon Feltheimer.